Hey guys, so on this episode of Make It with Calvin, I'm going to be unboxing and giving my initial impressions on this Vivo Home Dual Fans Airbrush Spray Booth. Yeah, that's right, they misspelled airbrush. Okay, a couple of things I want to get out of the way real quick. One of them is I bought this with my own money on Amazon. I have a couple of model train projects coming up where I absolutely definitely need a proper spray booth. Trying to spray paint outside and things like that just is not cutting it. Been meaning to get one for a while, so I finally did. Decided to pick this one up off Amazon strictly because one, it had decent ratings, and two, it's a dual fan setup. And if my experiences with the blower fans for the laser cutter are any indication of the way over-spec'd fan specs that you will find online, I hope that dual fans will do the trick, but I'll be perfectly honest, if this thing does not have enough suction, it's going back in the box and it's going back to Amazon, and I'm getting a different unit until I find one that works. So wanted to get that out of the way real quick, so let's get this open and find out what the heck we got. All right, you're gonna have to bear with this a little bit. I don't have a ton of space, so I'm gonna be kind of pulling things out and saying what they are and then maybe putting them down. We'll see. First, we have the all-important instructions manual. Ta-da! Okay, that's great. Read the instructions manual, so we're good. We have an exhaust hose. There's the airbrush spray booth. This was actually a nice little addition that some of them had. A Lazy Susan. Yes, it's manually operated, but you know what? It's better than nothing when you're painting stuff, so points for that. I'm going to be saving the packaging just in case it's going back. Let me spin this around so you guys can get a better look at it. Here's the front. It is nice that it folds up this tiny, I have to admit. So there's your dual fans on the back, which I genuinely hope will do something, although they are 12-volt fans, so I honestly have no clue. I'm going to be doing this like this so you guys can see. Okay, so pop the sides out a little bit before you unfold that. Okay, unfold the base plate. Oh, cool, air ducts. The mount for the back, and the 12-volt power supply. One thing I will say that is nice about this being 12 volts is if you were inclined and you were doing stuff portably, I could see how you could run this thing off an old car battery or something like that, or even your car if you were smart, which is kind of nice. So we're going to fold the sides up, and I'm assuming that this, wow, that was easier than I thought. That's awesome. Okay, so one thing I noticed right off the bat is if you try and pick this up without supporting the bottom, it will try to put itself back to the compact shape. The air duct on the back. So, you know, something to keep in mind. That was easy using the monitor. Easy as. I'm not going to attach the hoses. I don't really see a need for doing that. So there we have that. Now the interesting thing is the power supply is jumpered into two separate plugs because the plug for the lights is over here where my arm is raised, and the power for the unit is here. And the power button is back here. The light switch is right there. So, okay, you know, see what the lights are like. Ah, okay. All right, so the lighting in there is not necessarily photo booth quality. I definitely wish the lights were angled a little more and it had a little more light in there. But you know what? Something is better than nothing. If you had some external lights, you could always turn them on in there. It's definitely better than no light, so I'll give it points for that. Let's see how the fan is, because that's the part that I'm honestly the most worried about, because the fan is crap. Yeah, it's no good. I mean, it's definitely blowing air out the back, but I think I have a good test in mind. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I've slept on this for a couple of days, and here's where I'm at with my thought process on this. While this probably could work for airbrushing or light duty chalk powder weathering, or say even something like epoxy resin work where you don't want to be sucking in the fumes from it, I think this could actually get the job done. In my case, with wanting to use it with spray paint, it definitely ain't going to get the job done. Now, a couple of general things that I will say about this that I don't like, and I really feel like if the brand behind this, of which I'm going to be honest, it looks like there are 30 million ever so slight variations of this and being sold for all different price tags by all different companies online. There's a couple of things that they had just done a little bit differently. I think it would have actually made it a better unit. My biggest gripe is the lighting. Now, to be fair, it beats nothing, so I will say that much, but the fact that all the light is effectively shooting straight down at the front really creates a lot of shadows. Really what you need is the light running at about a 45 degree, and 45 degree to create as low of a shadow working area as possible, especially if you're trying to do paint work. I can't stress that enough. Good lighting really, really helps. Now, the second thing definitely is the fact that this seems to be a whole bunch of noise and not a whole lot of suction. So with all that aside, regrettably, I think I am going to be sending this back to Amazon. And yes, I could drop $600, $700, $800 on a small spray booth at a company like Micromark, but that's just absolutely exorbitant for what it actually is. So stay tuned. I think I'm actually going to use the outer box that this came in from Amazon as a temporary spray booth so I can get my project going. And then at a later time and date, we're actually going to build ourselves a more proper spray booth that hopefully will get the job done. All right, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you here next time on Make It with Calvin.